Welcome back. Generative AI can be an incredibly useful tool at work, but if it's used in the wrong way, it can get you in a heap of trouble. Stories of employees losing their jobs over AI usage are becoming more common, and so are the workplace bans on generative AI tools, and for good reason. A significant number of consumers say they are worried about businesses using AI. Check out this data from Forbes Advisor on your screen. Consumers are reporting concerns about AI being used for all kinds of content, most notably product descriptions, product reviews, chatbots, and job applications. But despite those concerns, consumers largely still trust businesses that use AI technology. Check this out. 65% said they're either somewhat likely or very likely to trust a business that incorporates artificial intelligence into its processes. Now, we talked about the best ways to handle AI at work, but what happens if things go awry? Joining me now is employment attorney John Bell. Thank you so much for joining us tonight to talk about this. I'm curious off the top, what is the riskiest use of AI, in a workplace that would land you in the most legal trouble?
Quite frankly, it's simply over-reliance on AI, which we see all too often. For example, the first lawyer that was on your show, which I've seen actually happen in New York, is a lawyer basically had ChatGPT write an entire brief that was very persuasive, by the way, and used case law. And when they went to argue the motion, the judge found that these cases don't exist. For the attorney that you had on earlier, they actually suspended him. For the attorney here in New York, they fined that attorney $5,000 for using ChatGPT. So it's okay to use ChatGPT in your workplace, but it shouldn't replace the human intelligence. You have to look at it. And in addition to that, when an employer is hiring you as an attorney or an employer or whatever, they're hiring you for your expertise, not simply to write something in ChatGPT and copy and paste it into an email or letter or something else. So there always has to be more than just using ChatGPT. In addition to that, you have to review, revise, and make sure that it's accurate. In the United States, everyone's an employee at will. You could be fired for any reason if you're using ChatGPT against company policy, or if there isn't company policy, but your employer finds out and is not happy with that, you can be fired.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because you said
generally,
you can be fired,
Sure.
but it's like, if the company doesn't have a policy, why are you still liable?
Because you're an employee at will. The only time that you can sue your employer for wrongful termination is if you could prove that the action of termination is based on race, age, religion, gender, disability, those types of protected classes. Just like an employee could go and they could quit. Their employer can't sue them either. So as long as the employer has a legitimate, non-discriminatory reason to take action, they can.
Okay, let me ask you, I'm going to give you another scenario. We were just talking about it, hiring managers using AI, HR departments to make that process for them easier. But we also know that AI has shown signs of biases, because at the end of the day, humans are coding this, humans have biases, and it's coming through. So if a prospective employee sues a company for hiring discrimination because of the use of AI, there's something that went awry with that. Who is at fault there? Is it the company? Is it the hiring manager? In that kind of scenario, what does that look like?
So first, when you try to bring a case for discrimination, it has to be on a protected class like race, for example. So if you're showing that you were the most qualified candidate and you didn't get selected because of your race, the employer just can't turn to the AI and say, well, we didn't do it, they did it, because at the end there might be a disparate impact. If you could show that the AI usage resulted in less, let's say, African Americans being hired by an employer, there can be a very good case in there. You can't just pawn it off to AI, which is why at the beginning of the segment, I would say that you can't just rely on AI. There has to be some human intelligence involved.
Okay, and let's say, you are in a situation where you used AI, you got in trouble, now you're facing, legal consequences. What defense, if any, do you have?
So the answer is you really don't have much. You would be fired for cause. There's no recourse in the legal system saying, well, I used AI, you didn't tell me I wasn't allowed to, because quite frankly, you could be fired for the color of your shoes. There doesn't have to be any good reason other than discrimination. But what I find most interesting, if someone uses AI, they could accidentally disclose proprietary or confidential information. Who knows what ChatGPT is doing with this information? Could it be subjected to a subpoena? So even if you do use it, you got to be careful what you include in there.
I mean, I don't know. Just hearing you describe all of this, it's ringing to me. Don't use it. Just don't use it at all as an employee because it sounds so risky. I mean, is that a fair assessment legally, from your perspective of how to navigate something like this in the workplace? I'm hearing not over relying on it, but just beyond that.
So we use it in my law firm. It's a helpful tool. Your boss should know. You should disclose to your boss that you're using it. But again, when you get something in return, when it spits out that answer, you need to edit it for your individual situation to make sure you're not just doing a copy and paste job. That will never end well for you.
Okay. How many, related to your firm, how many AI, workplace cases are you seeing come up that you're taking on? How frequent is that happening?
So we do litigation. So we use AI regularly. So in the context of the cases coming in, we're not hearing that people want to sue because of anything related to AI. But as lawyers, I could tell you that it's helping us with respect to our staff being more efficient, being able to handle more cases. Things get done more quickly in a sense. So it is a huge benefit for an employer to take this on. However, will it replace everybody? Definitely not. There needs to be human eyes reading this document, altering, editing the document to make sure that it's on point, because AI is not perfect. Mistakes can be made.
At least for now. Employment attorney John Bell, thank you so much for your time and your insight tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Folks, we'll be right back.